beard looks so weird. Good morning, everybody. Crush. No. Sorry about that. I almost just canceled the live stream. It is Friday. Well, here in Georgia. 10:13. Well, it was probably past that now, but I think last time we did this, I was making a song for y'all. Or I was recording something. I did one of the. It's not the dumbest thing. It's the safest thing. Was everything I recorded for that song is now deleted because I unplugged my keyboard because that's what we're supposed to do apparently. It literally tells you down the box to unplug it. It never says anything about your tracks being deleted after you unplug it. So I plug it back in. All the tracks for that song that we did is gone. Everything is gone. So I'm probably gonna just re-record that. I don't know if I'm doing a live stream or just do it, whenever. Just do it whenever I get the chance. Just do it on my own time. I don't even have a name for that song. It was just something that I wanted to put out, or not put out, but record and then eventually probably put out. Trying to wake up, y'all. This morning I'm trying to have some Duncan iced coffee mocha. This flavor's been out for a while, but it's still pretty good. I used to be a big Starbucks coffee guy, and then I switched over to Duncan because I just like the taste of. I don't know what it is. I just like the taste of it. And then whenever I started doing these bottled iced coffees, I was like, man, I gotta start. I gotta try these. I think it was the original flavors. It was okay. We had original, um, French vanilla, espresso, and then mocha. If I remember correctly. No, it's the first flavors that came out. I don't see espresso that much anymore though. I don't. I guess people don't like it as much as the other ones. But now you got all the new flavors out. I know they came out with cookies and cream a while back, and then you got s'mores, coconut, or is it coconut or something? The little Girl Scouts cookies. You got that one, then you got the chocolate mint or cool mint, whatever that's called, and it might be the only three that came out. There's probably more out there that we just haven't gotten yet down here. I'll be right back. I gotta check on something. Oh, I do have work later today, so that's why I'm doing this kind of early. Ugh. earlier instead of waiting until later during the day to do a live stream. But yeah, what's good about that song that I was talking about earlier, I remember everything from it. You know, it's not going to be that hard to put everything back down. And I'm thinking since this will be my second time around doing it, if whenever I do it, it'll probably be better. Better with the tempo and with the beat and keeping up and everything. That's the song I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it was something like that. Oh man. Well, I mean, I think I got the videos published now to where y'all can watch it, or it's public for public view. You go in there and you can check out the song I was talking about. But literally, I had like 4 to 5 tracks, or yeah, track parts just recorded onto this song. And then when I was gone for a few days, I come back, I plug this thing back up because that's what it always says to do when you get a keyboard. Make sure you unplug it if you're not using it. All the songs are deleted. All the tracks are deleted in it. So that's really nice. Just kidding. But yeah, it's pretty annoying. I gotta do something about this beer, man. It's just starting to get like just. I was going out for videos that I was working on, but of course, not thinking about how I do things on YouTube. Um, my videos, I don't just spit them out randomly. It's just most of them it takes time to make and record and get done and edit and all that stuff. Which I'll be honest with you guys, right now I haven't been doing anything because I'm still stuck on this release date for the new Darkness Within. This just needs to I need to do something with this. Um, and I don't know if anybody that sees this, if you haven't seen anything else or any other updates, I'll give it to you right now because this video will also be published later today to actually be viewable. Um, but right now we are at 200. We're at. I can't think. I can't speak. I'm still half asleep. We're at 298 subscribers on this channel. We're getting very close to that 300 mark. It's only 2 more subscribers, and then we'll finally be at 300. Which I say this all the time. I thank you so much for subscribing to this channel, man. Like I wouldn't. I know it's been around for a long time. It's been around for shit since 2017. Yeah, it's been around since 2017. Here we are in 2022. You do the math because I can't. I'm just kidding. But yeah, finally beat this number. It's like I said, it's not like the biggest number. Some people will snicker when I tell them I'm at this many subscribers, but to me, every subscriber counts. Anybody that's into the channel or into the content that comes out, that's what matters. And if you're getting satisfied with the videos and stuff, that's what matters. I tell people all the time that I've always wanted YouTube, to be like a hobby or whatever. But if it does become if it becomes a thing, I would love to work for YouTube for full time. Um, of course, I'm working now somewhere else. I was still, I mean, if this became, what I'm saying, I would still work at the other job, part time, maybe 2 days a week or something, maybe or a day a week if I ever started making money from YouTube. But at the very beginning, and I'm glad I stuck to this. I've told people all the time. Anybody can say this. I mean, I don't care who you are. You can always say it. Like I tell my family, friends, or anybody else that's onto the channel that I'm not doing this for money. I'm only doing it because I love creating cool shit, and I like putting stuff out for everybody else to see. That is the only reason I'm doing this. Oh, excuse me. I had an alarm clock set up. I hope y'all couldn't hear that. That's the only reason why I'm doing this. And I'm hoping that over the years of growing up, when I watched YouTube and all these YouTubers inspired me, and I'm hoping I can inspire people the same way. Get out there, make content, do what you want to do. There's so many opportunities for everybody right now. And yeah, I know it's getting hard out there. The cost of living is rises, and I'm not going to get detail and all that, but still, go when you get time. If you're constantly, if you're working all the time and you get a little bit of time off and you want to sit there and create something, go ahead and do it. Don't sit there and say, but what if it? There's been so many times I've done that too. I said, what if this doesn't go well? What if no one watches this or no one's going to like that? And for so long, for about, I say for about maybe 2 years, I was going through that. I wasn't getting any views or anything on there. I just saw somebody pop up on the thing. Is anybody here? That was weird. But yeah, I was kind of lazy with it. All I did was gaming every day. I would sit down for an hour to 2 hours live streaming video games, and I would do it every single day. Have something come out, and it wasn't getting any views. I mean, yeah, I think I did that for. I think I might have did it for maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years, and about just gave up on it. I was like, I'm not getting anywhere with this. Screw this. But after a while, I want to say starting in 2019, started getting started getting views again, started getting subscribers, and I think that was because I just branched off into doing something else and completely entirely different. I wanted to do something that was something that I could create instead of just recording gameplay. Which there's nothing wrong with doing that. People do it all the time. I still do it. I still upload games right now. Which currently, I think. Oh, I'll be right back. I was gonna show you something here, man. I'm currently playing. I'm probably gonna butcher this name again. Immortals: Phoenix Rising. I think that's what it's called. Very fun game. And for those of you who have been following the channel for the past few weeks, I've been playing Elden Ring, which I'm terrible at. I don't. I'm terrible at that game. And whenever I got onto Immortals, I'm from the South, as you. Whenever I got on Immortals: Phoenix Rising, I started getting more into it. And at first, I didn't want to. I was like, I don't want to switch over from Elden Ring because Elden Ring's such a cool game. Not saying that one's better than the other. Let me just say that, but they do branch off to being a little bit different compared to each other. I used to thought it was the same thing, but they're not. Two different games and two different, I guess, characters and stuff like that. You know, it's not the same thing. But right now, I am hooked on Immortals Phoenix Rising. I'm currently playing that one, and I think that I'm uploading. I think I got two parts uploaded already here. I mean, excuse me, I got two parts uploaded to the channel. So I mean, if you're into gameplay still, make sure I go check that out. That's what I was doing when I started this channel, and I'm kind of doing it now. I'm kind of getting back into it. Excuse me. Sorry. Jeez. I forgot I got these alarms set to wake up. Um, yeah. No, yeah. Okay. So let me get back on what I was trying to talk about earlier. The I could have sworn I just thought I saw something outside. The the main reason why. Wait, I think I already talked about this. I can't remember if I got to the point of it, but yeah, we're at 298 subscribers on this channel, and I'm only, and if like I said, I told you before, if we reach that 300 mark, or if we get to that 300 mark, um, I'm going to release the new video that we did a screening of last month. It was The Darkness Within. It's the new one that I've been talking about for a while now. And like I said, we had people back then who got to catch it, but then it was only a 3 day thing, and then cut back off. I did that just to see how can I get a reaction, out of it, and then how would people would actually enjoy it before I actually release the video fully. So yeah, it's actually starting to become one of my favorite videos. I like it. It's I haven't watched it. I don't think I watched it since the screening, to be honest with you. But like I said before, I'm gonna say it for the last time, and then we're gonna move on from this because I keep repeating this on these live streams. Excuse me. This video is not. How can I explain this? This video is only a direct sequel to the first Darkness Within, which came out in 2020. And the reason I'm doing that is because I got inspired by so many franchises that are doing that now. Um, Big example, Halloween. We had the Halloween 2018 that came out. So, and it just retconned all the sequels. And then we had, what else do we have? Well, recently we had the Texas Chainsaw Massacre film, or Texas Chainsaw, whatever it's called, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the new one that's on Netflix. Some people didn't like that. I understand, because it's not your typical Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but to me, I enjoyed it. I thought, holy sh! I was like, fuck, that was a damn good movie. And it's a direct sequel to the original. I love this new way of doing it. And then we have the Scream, which I love Scream. Don't get me wrong, I'm just not a big fan like some people are. Some people are into it more than me. But I did actually enjoy the new one. The new one was sick. The twist actually got me with this one. I was not expecting that, at all. For those of you who have seen it, I'm not going to spoil the movie here. I'm just saying, for those of you who've seen the new Scream, you get to the end and you're like, the fuck? But it was pretty good. It was a good movie. It's a new take on the series, I think. It kind of takes the series, into a new direction. What was cool about this one, though, is that it was actually talking about that. It was talking about, requels and stuff like that, because that's what Scream does. They bring up movies that's going on now, or going on during that era. Which is why this one, even though it's called Scream, technically it's Scream 5. It still includes the whole entire story, excluding the MTV series, which is really cool to me. I actually like the MTV series, but I have a confession to make. I've only seen the first season, have not watched season 2 or 3. But the season was good. I enjoyed it. But yeah, that's what this Darkness Within video is pretty much all about. It's about Um, the character John Scott, which he still lives in this sequel also. I have thought about, have some thoughts about, like, okay, fuck, what if he actually did die at the original? But I've had thoughts that, this character, something bad happened to him in the original, and he's been affected by it for fucking 2 years. It took 2 years to get out of that, and finally, after 2 years, some weird stuff is starting to happen again. And like I said, this one, it retcons all the sequels in between. So it's kind of weird, but you're gonna have the darkness within, and then you're gonna have the darkness within, uh, 2022. Which, like I said, guys, thank y'all so much for subscribing to this channel. I hope that I can keep going with this after going for so long. Hopefully, get some new ideas for some more content. It's just right now it's been real busy. I've been busy doing other things outside of YouTube. Um, but I do tend to upload a gaming video whenever I get the chance because I have been playing a little bit of the game I was talking about earlier. Really fun game if you haven't played it. I think it's been out for a minute now, but it's really fun. I'm enjoying it. I'm really hooked to it. I love games like this that have a open world, but also tell a story at the same time. And you can pretty much have a free range of doing what you want to do. And then there's music. I really am getting back into music for a lot of reasons. Some reasons may be more personal than others, but it's all good reasons, though. Um, and the excuse me, the main reasons that I am getting back into it is because of life changes, man. Like I went through. I'm not going to get into detail, but I went through a storm, if you will, for the past few years. And I'm finally back to finding who I was before that, you know. And music was always a huge part of my life. Ever since I was in middle school, ever since I was probably 11 or 12, which I enjoyed music ever since I was 5, as I tell people, 4 or 5, because uh, my dad would. This is actually, I remember it like it was yesterday, but he would have he would have the CD player, right? I'm talking about the handheld CD players, and then we'll have the tape with the little adapter aux cable to it, and he'll connect to that CD player, and then put the tape in. I believe, hope I'm not getting this wrong. It was a Dodge. It was one of those old Dodge trucks. It was green, and he would just put on music. And one of my favorite albums growing up, compared to everybody else in my generation, was actually Def Leppard Hysteria. Like when that album started with the first track, Women, I was like, whoa, this sounds cool. The drums, the guitar, and that part at the beginning where it goes near 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 near, and then the drums kick in and the bass and the guitar, it's just everything, and the singer. I got hooked to that band. I was like, man, this is a cool band. I like this band. I didn't, when you're a kid, you hear that stuff. Well, at least for me at the age, I didn't know how old it was until years later. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe Def Leppard is still touring now, still making music. They've been around for a long time. They've been around since my parents were growing up. So that tells you something right there. I'm old. Anyway, I got to that music, so I was into like 80s rock for a long time, and then I listened to Godsmack, which they're okay. They're not my favorite, but they got some good tracks. I think their older stuff is what I like more. And then that's when the Metallica phase came in. He had an actual copy, a real copy of the Black Album. with the case and everything. And I think that was their. Let me think. I think that's their fourth or fifth album. I can't remember. Um, but yeah, I was into like '80s rock, '90s rock, hard rock, and all that stuff. Years later, I got modern rock. That was in my time, and then eventually I got into rap a little bit. You know, I didn't really have a party stage at that young age. When I was in high school, I was listening to a group called LMFAO. I just loved the way they sounded, and they were funny because that's what they were. That's what their brand was. You know, to laugh my fucking ass off. So you listen to their music, like, oh, this has got a good beat, but they put jokes in there, just all kinds of stuff. And then I kind of got out of that, which is really probably a good thing because every now and then I'll put on one of their old songs and listen to them. Like, man, I used to listen to this back in my time, back in high school. Um, I want to say my sophomore year or junior year, I got into Hollywood and Dead, and I got into them in 2012, like the end of 2012, which was right before 2013. That's when their third album came out, Notes from Underground. Woo! When that album came out, because I listened to the previous two before, Swan Song's American Tragedy. When that album came out, well, I'm telling you, dude, which 2013 wasn't a good year. Me and the family, we lost a lot that year. I'm not going to get, like I said, I don't get the details about the stuff on this channel. That's more of a personal thing. But hearing music at that time was just a dark time, and music is what got me through it. Because apparently that band was going through a dark time. That's why the album was the way it was. And I'm pretty sure if you ask anybody to this day, that was probably their most personal and darkest album to date, and it still is. Um, if any of y'all are Hollywood Dead fans, if y'all haven't even heard that album, which you probably should have by now, check it out one day and listen to the whole thing from front to back. Because that's what I did. I listened to the whole thing from front and back, and they still got their parting sides on there, but they got a lot of more heavier tracks and dark tracks on there. Okay, so automatically I was hooked on this band. I was introduced to this band. You some people show me. I want to say it was Bullet Wherever I Go. That's how I got into the band in 2012. And then whenever I was at home one day, I went to YouTube and just searched them up. And I think first thing I heard was Undead, and I was immediately hooked after I heard that song because I love how much it was like in your face and what they were talking about. It felt real because it wasn't like pop or the rap or pop songs you hear nowadays. And the reason I'm really into that band is because they're a mixture of rap and rock. Originally is how they started. Then they kind of got on to the acoustic side and Notes from the Underground. To me, American Tragedy was like them transitioning into that. American Tragedy was a really good album. I enjoyed that album front to back also. I enjoy other albums front to back. There's probably a couple songs that I wouldn't keep listening to because I don't like it, but majority the songs on those albums are really good. So senior year, I graduated in 2015. That year, I believe it was March or April. I want to say it was March, but they released their new album at the time called Day of the Dead. Holy shit. They had like a new sound. It was more upbeat, and it was back to being in your face again. And I would, back when I was driving my Pontiac, I actually ordered the physical copy CD for Amazon, and it came in. I'll put that CD on, just drive through town, listen to the whole entire album. Really good album, but it's more of electronic. You're not going to find a whole lot of acoustic tracks on there, or the softer tracks. They're kind of bad, and plus to me, they were in their back into their partying stage, I guess. Wasn't crazy as Swan Songs, but it was a new sound. It's like once you heard the album Day of the Dead, you can't hear them. It's like a new thing. It's a new chapter. You know, it was their new sound, and I think that was like a new beginning for everybody. Really, for me, stuff was changing. Graduation, I was starting to get out into the world and stuff. Um, and even my friends that I used to hang out with, they'll listen to that with me, and they're like, "Holy shit!" Because some of those people didn't even like the third album. They're like, "That was not a good album." But I was like, "Yo, you gotta understand. Um, you, to me, you kind of have to understand music in order to like it. You gotta know what it's talking about. I mean, you can enjoy the musical instruments and the beats and everything, but you got to really understand the feeling and what it means. And you know, whatever artist you listen to, you could be singing about a certain specific topic, but you can relate to those songs in a way, and that's what's cool about it. So that album's been out for for a minute, and I would play it on repeat. And then I came upon the deluxe edition, and I listened to it. I had the three extra tracks, and then I think on YouTube somebody, I can't remember the name of the channel. I think it was Extreme Undead. He put the lyric videos. He would have like the extra tracks on top of the bonus tracks, and those were cool, man. Like some of those extra tracks that they don't include on the albums themselves. And well, some of them they do. It depends on, like, say if you buy a copy from Best Buy, it's gonna have the extra Best Buy track to it, or extra two tracks. Hold on, I skipped over a band. Excuse me. Before I got into Hollywood Ed and after MFL, I got to this band called Black Veil Brides, and I really enjoyed their music too. For the first album, then the second one came out. I heard that album, which the second album was awesome, dude. It was heavy, heavier than the first album. That's why I enjoyed it. Then they finally came out with the third album, Rich and Divine, which was amazing. It was a concept album, and it told the story from the beginning to the end. I still have my copy. I got the deluxe edition. There's so many editions out there to it, but I got the deluxe edition, which has the CD, with the whole album on there, and then you got the DVD, which is pretty much them in the studios making this album. And it was so sick watching that. Me and my cousin would actually I believe it was on the weekends. We'll go over to my granny's house. We'll go swimming, and then we'll, hey, do you want to watch this? Pop in a DVD because he's a big fan of them too, and we would sit there and just watch it. We're like, this is so cool, seeing one of our favorite bands record, perform, or perform and record and make this awesome music that we got off the album. And then I can't remember if it came out first. I can't remember if it was Day of the Dead or it was actually, I think their fourth album, which I think their fourth album was self-titled. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, in the comments or in the live chat. But their fourth album was self-titled. It was really good. Sorry, y'all. Good. I'm trying to change this. It was really good, but it was just another heavy metal album, and it was really cool. That one reminded me of Metallica a lot. There was a song on there that was it was kind of like a slow vibe song, but it was really good. I think after that, I kind of steered away from them. I kind of got away from the music after a while because it didn't top Rich and Divine. That was my favorite album. That was like the stepping stone. And then they had their fifth album, which is I think it was called The Veil or something. I did listen to that whole album. It was okay. I just was not feeling it. I couldn't get into that album. I was just like, man, this. Which The Veil, I think it's what it's called. It reminded me of the part two to Rich and Divine. It was kind of like a concept, but it just didn't feel the same, man. Like when Rich and Divine came out in 2013. Oh, yeah, it came out in 2013. Uh, it didn't top it, man. That album from 2013 was just good. And then they got the new album out, which is called is it Scarlet's Crossing. Am I saying it right? I haven't even heard it yet. I think it's already out. Here I am skipping around again. Before that, they remade or re-recorded their first album. We Stitch His Room. They call it Restitch These Wounds. I listened to that whole entire thing, just sitting down, listening to it. I was like, man, nostalgia hit me because it was so good. I enjoyed that one. And then we had what was it, the Scarlet's Cross or Scarlet's Cross, whatever it's called, Scarlet's Cross. That came out. I heard like two songs from that, but I haven't heard the entire album. And eventually I might do it today on the way to work. I might put that album on and check it out. All right, so back to Hollywood Dead. Um, their their fifth album, which is called Five, came out back in 2017, and a lot of people didn't like it. They did not like it. I don't know why. Everybody kept saying this is the worst album ever. I don't know if it was because it was a big production value on that album or what it was, but to me it sounded so fucking cool, man. To me that was a it was so cool. I enjoyed that album, and I mean I got like favorite tracks from it too, like Bad Moon and all that stuff. But my favorite song from Five would have to be Black Cadillac. I love the way it sounds. It sounds like your classic HU song mixed in with classic hip hop rap, low vibe. The bass was awesome. Funny Man's chorus or verses in that song was just dope as hell, and it was like the dark. It was so dark. I really enjoyed that track. But if Hollywood Dead ever had a concept album, to me, Five would be the concept album, just because of how it is. It was good, and it all connected to each other. Like I could listen to that album with a breeze, and not even like skip around it because of how the songs connect to it. You know, you got the first three songs which are kind of like a little up here like heavy wise. The third song kind of like in the middle, and then you have this brief moment of softness. Of darkness and not depression, but kind of sad when you hear the verses. You're like, oh, I feel where they're coming from, and that's what's cool about that band. They acknowledge that they're progressing, and they're getting older and stuff like that. They acknowledge that in that album, and then boom, right when track 7 hits Renegade, is when it comes back up. It gets heavy, and it gets heavier, 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 heavier. So yeah, that was a good album. So what about 3 years later, we finally get to my favorite moment of HU's career, and that was New Empire Volume 1. Holy shit. I really enjoyed that. When it came out, um, and I first listened to it, I was like, okay, they're picking their energy back up. They're getting it. What's cool is that I saw an interview about that, and they were talking about we wanted to make an album as if we never recorded anything before, and it's a fresh start on things. So whenever I show people, that band, people who haven't heard of that band, I start with that album, New Empire, because Time Bomb, the first track, when it kicks up, boom, I feel like everybody's immediately hooked. And then the second track, which before I go further with this, hear me out. I love the entire album as a whole. It's heavy, it's upbeat, it keeps you in the loop. The second track, Heart of a Champion, love that song. That is my favorite song off that entire album, and it's just classic Hollywood Dead. I mean, when the first verse kicks in, I think Johnny Three Tears, right before he starts singing or rapping or whatever, he says "Mic check," and I'm just like, that's just so it's so dope to do that in your song. It's like you're performing it live while you're recording. You're like mic check, and you just you start going. So, yeah, we got that in 2020, at the beginning of 2020, and then at the end of 2020, because I think it was supposed to come out during summer, but it came out at the end. We got Volume 2, and that was dope too. I love Volume 2. Probably not as much as I like Volume 1. Volume 2 was still cool to have. Had more of the darker side of HU. And I think my favorite song from that one was probably. I mean, I got multiple favorite songs, obviously, guys, but Coming Through the Stereo was probably one of my favorite. I love that song. It was pretty good. And then they had like more of the personal songs, like is it Monsters or Monster. Is that what it's called? I think that's what it's called. Correct me if I'm wrong. Um, that was good. Hold on, I can look it up right quick and tell you what this song's called. Let me see. Oh, hey, that's funny. The new album for Black Foot Bride just popped up. Okay, that album, the new one, which I haven't heard yet, is called The Phantom Tomorrow. And I think a buddy of mine told me he already heard it. And he said some of the tracks he heard from it was pretty heavy. So hold on. Okay, New Empire Vine 2. Yeah, Monsters featuring Kill Station. I didn't really know who Kill Station was, but I remember hearing him at the end of the track. People bashed on that, but I'm like, y'all, stop. This is some good stuff. Um, that was pretty good. And then what's cool is that they remade Heart of a Champion on this album featuring Papa Roach and Ice Nine Kills. That song is dope. And what's cool is you can listen to that song with anybody because there's no cursing or cussing in it. So I think a lot of people will get into their new music with that song, Heart of a Champion, the Volume 2 version. And the reason it was cool to me because this is my favorite track from the first volume. So Volume 2 had it on there, and I was like, yes! Just hearing it again, and I was like, hell yeah. There's a whole lot of more music that I listen to, guys, besides them. I mean, they're just my favorite band. That's why people hear me talk more about them. I listen to them more. But, we have Slipknot, for example, which I've been listening to Slipknot since I didn't get into them since 2015, I think, or probably before, because I heard their stuff before growing up. But I got into them in 2015, and I wanted to listen to all the albums up until the Greg chapter when that was out at the time. And I was like, first I was scared. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I was like, what is this? But after a while, when you know who Slipknot is, you understand what they're saying and what their music is, you're kind of like, okay, I see what these guys are talking about. They're just out there making music, and the mass things with them too. There is it's not to symbolize bad stuff or Satanism as people would say they are. It's to symbolize their music, and to me that's cool and dope to keep that going. And I'm not trashing on Hollywood, bashing on Hollywood Dead. Well, Hollywood Dead is for those of you who may not know, they kind of ditched the mask. I believe it was after their fifth album, after five, they pretty much just they stopped doing the mask thing. Because I remember during that whole the five tour or wherever you want to call it, they still wore their mask at the beginning of the show, then they took it off, and then they toured a little bit between that album before the new ones, and they just didn't wear them at all. Which to me is okay because like do your own thing. That's what they're doing. They're doing their own thing. They don't care what people say. They still make music without the mask. The mask is not what makes new music. They're not trying to hide their identities. That was never a thing. I mean, I watched stuff before where people thought they were trying to hide their identities, but it wasn't that. It was the music videos that was blocking out their faces. At the time when they started, because they just wanted the mask to symbolize their music. That wasn't their intentions at all. But after a while, they just ditched the mask, and you kind of know who everybody is. Which, I mean, I bet know who everybody was in that band. But now, finally, after waiting for another minute, two new songs have came out, and the first one was Chaos. That's an awesome song. When I first heard it, I was like, it was so heavy. It was just, yeah. But after a while, I listened to it, I was like, I like this. This is cool. They just released a new song. Um, I want to say it was this past Wednesday on 420, called Wild in These Streets. just came out. If you haven't checked it out, make sure y'all go listen to it. It took me a minute to understand what it was, but then after hearing it and hearing all the verses, I was like, hell yeah, that's dope. And it's it has heavy parts and it has like the rap parts in it, so it's kind of like back and forth, which is cool. It kind of shows her that their like their differences. It kind of shows what they're capable of doing, and they can have a. I remember back then it was like they'll have a rap song, or back then they'll have like a rap and rock song, have a rock song, rap and rock. American Trash came out. It was mainly rock, but they did have some rap and party music in there. Third album was mainly there was some rap in it, and then it was like low vibe beats, and then you had the acoustic parts, kind of gone to the softer side, but still it was heavy if you're listening to what they're saying. Day of the Dead was electronic, poppy, uppity, but still fucking cool. And then five was pretty much Day of the Dead, but amped up, as I would say. Five was like heavier drums, heavier guitars, still had that music, but then still had the pop songs. And then we got to the New Empires, Volume 1 and Volume 2, which Volume 1 to me was more heavier, I think, because they had like one song on there that was kind of, kind of poppy. I mean, not poppy, kind of rap. They had like rap with beats into it and everything. They had two songs, but the last one, Nightmare, was kind of like darker because they were talking about like some real life shit or heavy shit. And then Volume 2 was the same way. It had some guitar parts, had the party beats and then the rap beats and rap music, and kind of gone softer, and then kind of went back up to the the hard rock, in your face. But Chaos and Wild of the Streets are two different songs, two completely different songs, and they're so good. Like I was when I was going to work yesterday and then leaving work right around town, I was sitting there listening to Wild on the Streets. It's like, man, I love this. And if y'all haven't seen the album cover to that yet, it is so cool. It's designed after GTA, and I enjoy it. I mean, I enjoy it a lot. It's really sick, really dope. But yeah, I can't wait for this new album. They're apparently they've been working on. I can't wait for it to come out because I'm so excited. I get so excited when Holiday Song comes out. I got to a point where I told myself I was gonna stop listening to them, but these two new songs just reels me back in. I'm like, all right, HU for life, as they say, HU for life. I don't know when that new album is dropping. Um, I'm estimating either the earliest will be this summer when it comes out, or late this year. That's my estimation. That's my prediction right there. Whenever it drops, possibly, just possibly. I'm not jinxing this, but the latest that it might actually come out will be the beginning of next year. But either way, that's my story about the music. That's how I kind of progressed into changing my music taste, as you will, and what I get into. Um, yeah. Now back on to the YouTube thing. To me, I'm trying to wake up, y'all. It's still early to me. Everybody else is already at work right now, but I have to close tonight. That's why I'm going in later. To me, this channel has grown tremendously um, within a year time frame. Between last year and the beginning of this year. For some reason, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the videos or the content is coming out, but the views and subscribers are going up faster than ever. And back to being at 298, I'm very grateful for that. Because I pretty much put in my head that for this 300 goal that I was talking about, I didn't think it was actually going to happen. But I've always had high hopes for it. I said, if I reach 300 before that release date, I'm releasing a new video. So you hear it from me personally first. We reach, excuse me. Sorry, y'all. I still get stuff popped up on here. If we reach 300 subscribers before the release date, the new Darkness Within video will drop. It will come out, and hopefully everybody will be notified about it. I'll go into YouTube or go into my files and videos and see what I can do to make sure that it will be quoted and released as a new video, and then that way everybody will get a fresh start on it. And then everybody that wants to see it, who missed it the first time during the 3-day screening, gets to see it. And then people who's already seen it and want to see it again will definitely get to watch it too. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That's all I got to talk about. If there's any more updates or anything coming out, I'll definitely let y'all know, and I'll get on here whenever I get time, and I'll live stream it or do like short video and like, hey, this is coming out. Hey, this is coming out. Last Friday we just dropped the, what was it? It was the Silverface, the Z God Chronicles Part 2 that came out last Friday. It's doing decent. It's doing pretty okay. I for some reason I wasn't even thinking about it, and I didn't have a release date for it. But I was like, let's go ahead and drop it. Let's just drop it. Let's not announce anything until the, the date of, and then it finally came out. Well, now that I have you guys here, I'm just kidding. Now that we're here, let me talk about that whole thing. So this was during the time when I didn't have any ideas of what I wanted to do on recording. So I said, why don't I go through my video archives and come up with something? And I really wanted to elaborate on this character, Silverface, with this. In the Z God Chronicles Part 1, you kind of get that origin story of what happens. And I can explain it right now if y'all want me to, for those of you that watched it. For those of you who haven't watched it, go ahead and click off this live stream and go watch it, and then come back to us. Okay, so Part 1 starts off of showing how it got started. And I know that my brother, which we all know now, my brother will bag 123 on his channel. He has that character also, but his is a little bit different. His version is a little bit different than mine, but it's the same character. There's no it's not too much of a difference to where it changes the stories or anything. Okay. So starting off, the physical form, for my series at least, of Silverface, he was actually made in a lab. He could be a test tube baby, as you will, or whatever. But he was made, that's probably not the correct term. I apologize. But he was made in a lab. I want to say back in, was it 60s, I think? I don't remember the timeline that well. We'll say 60s. Or 70s. I want to say it was 60s. And they kept him locked up in this small little shed in someone's random backyard. I'm not kidding. That's what I got. So basically, in order to fully emerge Silverface, as we call him, I'm not going to give his real identity because that would just ruin everything. To emerge him from that, there was probably some witchcraft or something involved to get him into the powerful state that he's in now. Meaning, it's hard to explain. The Z-God aspect, as you will, wasn't just him. It was started by something else. And it pretty much, in a way, possessed this thing that was made, causing him to be powerful, unkillable. You can't do anything to him. He's untouchable. And it's like this demonic force, as you will, which I don't like stuff like that put out there, takes over. And that's how, Silverface became the one known as Z-God. And that's what started the whole thing. So we have that happen. Then we have the stuff that happens, at the house, at the original house, before the attic. It's like a backstory before the attic even happens, and that's how it transitioned into the attic. It all connects together. And then at the end of that video, uh, we have a scene from the year '87. And for those of you who don't know, a few years ago on Storyfire, whenever that was banging, I created a story called House 87, and I would do like chapters of it every day or throughout the days and upload these chapters, and it was pretty graphic. One day, if I ever get a chance, I would love to make that into a YouTube video. But we are gonna have to dub it down a little bit because there's a lot. There's a lot. If you read it, there's a lot of scenes in it that's really gory, and I don't think that I'm still allowed to show that on the YouTube. But for those of you who don't know, that story was really, I'm not gonna say scary, but it was really dark. It was a mystery, and that's why it was called House 87 because it happened in '87. It was still involving John Scott, but this was the stuff that wasn't filmed. This was stuff that was written down, and I still have the original pages that I wrote out for that story in this old notebook. I have it somewhere. I just don't know where it's at right now. I gotta find it. But that could be the script, and it will probably be the first time I ever use an actual script for a video. You know. Now, me personally, I would love to be in it and still play the character John Scott, but here's the problem. I've gotten older. Got a beard. I'm not that young man in that series anymore. If anything, I'm the one. I play John Scott from the 2021 and 2022. So that being said, I am highly, highly thinking about doing that. There will be blood, as they say. There will be stuff happening in this series. And I don't know if I'm going to make a series out of it or if I'm going to make one big video. It has probably to be an hour long on the story or whatever. But I'm telling y'all, seeing it on screen to me would be awesome. And I would love to do that. But yeah, I mean, if y'all want to get caught up on that, if it's still out there, I think Storyfire is still up and running. Go to Storyfire, look up House 87. You should be able to find it and read the entire thing whenever you get time. You won't be disappointed. Like, I worked really hard. I would stay up late at nights writing it down and uploading it, writing it down, uploading it, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I could have just done everything on top of my head. I didn't have to write it down, but it's cool that I did because then I have a physical copy of the papers and the stuff wherever. And then, like I said, if we do make this into a video, we will have an actual script that we can go by. And another thing, I've just recently hired an editor to edit the videos for me. Not going to discuss who it is yet, but we will do a sit-down video and we'll show who this person is. I did a editing competition between two people and this person won. So if this person sees this, get ready because we're about to go to work. I know it's taking a while, but we're about to have some time where we can get to work and actually start doing this thing and putting everything together. And I can't discuss the project right now, what we're going to be working on until after the Dark Spinning comes out, the new one. And on top of everything else, so yeah, like I said before, early in the video, y'all, early in our live stream, I am going to be doing like more gaming stuff, so more gaming vids will be dropping. Might have another one drop today, who knows. But yeah, if you're into gaming, check that out. That's how I started. I'm kind of back and doing it a little bit. So that's pretty much it, guys. And this is officially, I guess, our road to 300. We've been on this road for a while, but we're almost there. We're almost near the end. So if you're not, thank you. I just want to say thank you to my subscribers. thank you for subscribing and sticking with me for this long. And we finally made it to an hour in live stream. I just saw that pop up. Thank you for being here this long. For people who's been here since the beginning up till now, thank you, thank you, thank you. Because if y'all weren't here, if y'all weren't checking out the content, if y'all weren't liking, if y'all weren't watching or subscribing, I would not still be doing this. I would have quit years ago. So thank y'all. It means a lot. And for those of you who are not subscribed, if you do like what you see, if you check out the channel and you see this content and you actually enjoy this stuff, I'll explain a little bit more what majority of it is. Majority of it is like sci-fi, horror, you know, stuff like that. There's some playlists you can go check out on the channel. If you do like what you see here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit the notification bell to get all the updates and videos. Okay, everybody. Sorry, wasn't really much music to play today. I just wanted to talk about everything and update everybody. But yeah, y'all be on the lookout for some more content. I'll try to get some more stuff out for you guys. And until next time, I hope that y'all have a great day. It's beautiful outside if you're down here in Georgia. If you got work, make it a good day. If you got a day off, make it a good day. Go out there and enjoy life. Do what you like to do. With that being said, I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.